going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-15 Baltimore Ravens. Why the Baltimore Ravens 0-15? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend any time with me here this evening? Or anybody going to spend any time watching the replay of this? From the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys so much. You guys are absolutely the best. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here, as I always try to do every night. Anybody got questions, any comments at all, anything, just throw away in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box every so often. So if anybody got anything to say, I'll be checking them out. And before I get started, if in the description box below, if you want to help, like maybe support my channel, there's a link down there. I got like 3 different, I don't know what you want to call them. There's 3 different things you can sign up for. Like it's like a monthly subscription. You're right. You get each one. You get like different, different things with each one. I think one's called the Saquon. One's called like the Gridiron, but there's 3 different levels there. If you want to help support the channel out, I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean so much to me. And also, if you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button below. Click the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I got a video or something like, you'll be notified, right? And so, once again, guys, thank you so much for just spending any time at all with me. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but I got some good news with the injury updates, and we got some bad news. I mean, I don't know, bad news. I mean, it's kind of the same old. Kadarius Toney's out, right? Why would he want to play? Kenny Golladay, he's injured with his knee. So we got 6 guys that are out. Okay, we got Cordell Flott still have a calf problem. Kenny Golladay with his knee. Tanner Hudson's got an illness. Okay, so he's not like injured, but he's got an illness. Okay, Tony Jefferson with his foot. Now, he won't be playing, but however, it looks like we might be bringing up Landon Collins maybe to take his place. So, Landon Collins might actually get in there and see some action. I don't know how much he's going to wind up seeing, but looks like he'll certainly possibly be elevated to the 53-man roster for this weekend. And if nothing, we'll have to wait and see. They said how much he plays. Does he stay on the 53-man roster? Or does he go back down to the practice squad? Who knows? Because, don't forget, if he's on the practice squad, means somebody, if he does well this weekend, right? If he's on the cheap and he does well, another team come in there and pluck him off of there. So, so you might want to, be careful as far as maybe leaving him on there too long. Jason Pinnock, he's got a problem with his ankle. Of course, Kadarius Toney's it says a hamstring. I'm not sure which hamstring it is because he had a problem one hamstring, and just as that one was getting better, seemed like just as he was getting ready to turn the corner, maybe to some health and all of that, maybe possibly getting on the field, boom, he tweaked the other one. So I'm not exactly sure which hamstring it is. Maybe it's both of them. I don't know. I really don't know. Doubtful, we got Azeez Ojulari. So that certainly does not mean 100% he won't be playing, but when somebody's doubtful, more likely than not, he won't be playing. But on the good news, okay, looks like we got, it's weird because on this list here that I got, all right, they got Tanner Hudson is out with an illness, but then questionable, they got Tanner Hudson is questionable with an illness. So who knows? I got the article. I'm going to read the article a little bit more, but looks like Saquon should be good to go with his shoulder. Okay. Wanda Robinson might just quite possibly. Huh? Oh, my goodness. I think he was in it for one drive against the Titans, the first drive, maybe the second drive of the opening game. Caught a pass, boom, and he was out ever since. Simply amazing. And we got Leonard Williams. Boy, Lord knows we certainly could use him back without question. But I got this article here. I got from, as I said, from SI.com, Fan Nation, Giants Country. So I want to go over this, read it, see if, as far as what the injury report. Okay. This is kind of, what we're looking like going into this weekend coming up. It says New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley shoulder and cornerback Adoree Jackson knee and neck were among those players who did not receive an injury designation for Sunday's game against the Baltimore Ravens and are thus good to go. Thank goodness, because, you don't want to lose both your cornerbacks. Because Aaron Robinson's not there. He's on IR. Don't know when he'll be coming back. But it's nice to get, at least we have Adoree Jackson in there, especially because Adoree Jackson's number one, cornerback. So it'd be so nice to have him out there. And we got Barkley and Jackson were among several players who have been limited all week in practice. You don't need to do anything with Barkley. Let the freaking guy, the guy wants to take naps the whole week. You let the man take a nap. He does not need, if he's a little dinged up or something, you let that freaking man rest, right? Because we need him big time. All right. But the managed workloads have all allowed them to pace themselves this week. It's unclear if both players will take their usual workload Sunday, but the coaching and training staffs will no doubt be keeping a careful watch on the players for any signs of distress. In addition to Barkley and Jackson not receiving a final injury designation, which is fantastic, cornerback Darnay Holmes, quad, fullback / tight end / H-back, whatever you want to call him, Chris Myrick, ankle, who were also limited, did not receive a final injury designation. So to have Darnay Holmes back, fantastic. Okay, really, really good. Those who did receive a designation include defensive backs Cordell Flott, his calf, Toney Jefferson, his foot, and Pinnock, his ankle. So we got 3 guys in the secondary. All right. So basically we got 3 guys in the secondary and we got 2 wide receivers. But at least we're getting a receiver back, hopefully. Maybe Wanda Robinson might be back, right? Maybe this time he can catch a pass without getting injured. It would be nice. But we lost 3 guys in the secondary, Flott, Jefferson, and Pinnock. Pinnock, I don't know if he got injured. That's the one he got injured on was when the ball hit him in the back on that punt. People were telling me, get away, get away. He hit his back to it. So to get hit in the back with the ball, it's just one of those bad luck kind of thing, bad bounce kind of things or whatever. But I'm not sure if that's the play he got injured on or not. But thankfully, the ball went out of bounds. Thankfully. Let's see here. What do we got here? Outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari calf, limited this week in practice, was listed as doubtful. Maybe we can get him back, maybe the following week. Tight end Tanner Hudson illness and receiver Wanda Robinson and defensive lineman Leonard Williams were all listed as questionable for Sunday. Williams and Robinson were among those Giants who were also limited on Friday. Punter Jamie Gillen, who was stuck across the pond because he had some issues with his passport. Right. Jamie Gillen, quarterback Tyrod Taylor with a concussion, outside linebacker Jihad Ward were full practice participants. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That's really good. Really, really good. Because Jihad Ward, I love that. Love the freaking energy that guy brings. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. He's up there too. I think he's if I remember, he's tied for 5th in tackles. And he's played in every game. He's only started 3, but I believe he's tied for 5th with the amount of tackles. So when the guy gets in there, the guy makes things happen, right? And as I said, I love the guy's attitude. Absolutely love it. I hope he's somebody that they can find a spot on the roster or whatever going forward, meaning maybe next year that's the one thing. You're always trying to look to upgrade the roster, and sometimes you get it's really a shame because especially the guys guys they're not super duper stars but you like them, and I love, as I said, I love the guy's freaking attitude. the positivity and all of that, what he brings to the team. And you start pulling for guys like that. But then, it's unfortunate because the way it is with it being such a business is that you're always looking to upgrade every position, every day, 24/7, 360, So guys like that, unfortunately, sometimes, they're here this year and gone next year, But if he winds up sticking around for a couple of years, I'd be absolutely thrilled to death about that. Let's see. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley remains limited in practice this week as his workload is managed. As I said, if the guy wants to do nothing all week, you let that guy do freaking nothing all week. Let him sit there or whatever, and recuperate because we need him for Sunday. Says, however, the fifth-year running back echoed head coach Brian Dable's sentiments that he would not be limited Sunday against the Ravens by his injury. Good. Shoulder feels pretty good, Barkley said. Obviously, I was able to go back out there and finish the game. Whew. That was huge. But what was so impressive was that they got, was that a 91-yard drive then? That's when Brightwell took it in, right? Barkley was on the sideline, and they took it pretty much the length of the field, scored a touchdown with Brightwell getting in there. That was huge. Barkley said, I've just been rehabbing it, being smart, but I'm excited for us to get a chance to go against a really good football team. Meanwhile, defensive lineman Leonard Williams with his knee continues to trend in the right direction after missing 3 games with a sprained MCL, and we could use him. Oh, my goodness. Williams' return to the lineup would come just in the nick of time, given that the Ravens are a run-heavy offense. Absolutely. But, I mean, but what you want to do is, get that pressure up the middle. Not only clogging up, hopefully, the run lanes, right? Taking on double teams or whatever, freeing up the linebackers behind them, linebackers / maybe safeties if Dane Belton or Landon Collins is back there in the box. But not only that, but get some pressure, get a push in the middle of the pocket, right? Get some pressure on Jackson. Maybe, if you don't sack him, get the pressure on him. Push the pocket into his face. Get your hands up, right? Make it difficult for him to throw anything, to throw the guy off his game. Anything, right? So, that would be huge. That would be so huge. And I said, and we got this game, and then we got 2 more games, and then we got our bye week. And then hopefully, I have to wait and see who else gets hurt these next 3 games. But, we got the bye week. Hopefully, we can start maybe getting some guys back. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Kadarius Toney's his hamstrings might be healed up by then. Who knows? Or Kenny Golladay, maybe his knee might be back. Who knows? While Williams was sidelined, the Giants' run defense allowed an average of 139 yards per game. Not good. With Williams in the lineup, the run defense allowed 119 yards a game against the run, though that average is slightly skewed since Williams left in the second half of the Giants-Carolina game with his injury. He was listed as a limited practice participant. Now, also, let's not forget, because that's when McCaffrey, after he got injured, that's when McCaffrey had that big, I forgot, was it a 40 or 50-yard run? He pretty much ran it right where Williams was supposed to be. So he got injured, came out of the game. I think it was the next quarter or whatever it was. McCaffrey went 50 yards. Thankfully, we caught him from behind. Because if he didn't catch him from behind and he scored and wound up scoring a touchdown, that's 4 more points. The Giants might have lost the game 20-19. But pretty much where that's where he usually plays Williams. That's pretty much where I think where McCaffrey ran up the middle. So, but maybe if Williams was in the game, possibly McCaffrey doesn't get that run. And backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor is cleared the concussion protocol, thank goodness, which will save the Giants from having to use a second elevation on Davis Webb this weekend, which is huge. Absolutely. Yeah. Then we got here, in other injury news, receiver Kenny Golladay knee and Kadarius Toney hamstring continue to trend in the wrong direction. Shocking, I know. Simply shocking. Golladay will likely miss his second straight game, while Toney hasn't been able to get on the field since week 2. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Also not practicing for the Giants on Thursday was cornerback Cordell Flott, Jason Pinnock, and it says Tanner Hudson with illness. Got Jihad Ward. It says here with the rest. They're just trying to rest him. And safety Toney Jefferson with his foot. Receiver Wanda Robinson and Azeez Ojulari, cornerback Darnay Holmes, and Chris Myrick were all also among those who were limited. So it was just on Thursday they're talking about, okay? But so, I mean, we're getting some good news, the big thing is that, if you look, right, we have Adoree Jackson, that would be huge, okay? I don't know how many games you want to try to go with, without your top two cornerbacks in there, right? Hopefully maybe next week if we can get Kayvon in there and have Azeez on the other side would be fantastic. But, getting Leonard Williams back would be huge. But also on the offensive side, okay, thankfully there's no bad news as far as like the offensive lineman, thankfully. Daniel Jones, we're not hearing anything about a bad ankle. So we got the 5 offensive linemen and Daniel Jones. So we got the 6 there, okay? We're not hearing nothing bad about. Thankfully, thank goodness. But our playmaker, okay, Saquon, he means so much to the offense. Even if you're not even giving him the ball, the eyes from the defense that have to be on him where he goes, right? Where he goes, that's where their eyes go, right? So, or that's where he goes. Some of them flow that way, right? So he's just having him on the field is huge, even if he doesn't get the ball. Okay, he means so much to the offense. So having him on the field would be huge. As I said, if we can have, we get Wanda Robinson back, right? That would be just at least one more possible weapon. We can have him with Sills and Richie James, right? So we can use all the help we can get in the wide receiver department. So if we can get Wanda Robinson on, that would be huge. Now, I also wanted to just touch on just briefly here. It's just so far, just very, very impressed. Very impressive. The biggest thing that I think so far, right, that's helped the turnaround for the Giants has got to be without question. We got a lot of the same guys. We added some pieces, we lost some pieces, but why are we 4-1 and last year? I know we were 1-4 at this time, or I don't even know what we were. Let's see here. See if I can figure this out here. It's here somewhere. 2021 New York Giants. Okay. After what were we? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So we were 1-4. Yeah, that's right. We beat the Saints in overtime. I remember that one. But let's see. We went to 1-5. The Rams killed us. But without question, okay, it's got to be the coaching staff. I think Shane, all the assistant coaches. I think absolutely huge what they've done so far with the team. And the one thing is that, excuse me, once you start winning, it shows, yeah, we can do this. We had that a little bit with Judge. The one thing I don't know, it's got me scratching my head is in 2020, the last 8 games, we went 5-3. Started 1-7, but we ended 5-3. And I'm like, man, we ended 5-3. Wow. Okay. Maybe Judge knows something, So I was kind of had my hopes a little high for, or a little high. I wasn't think we were Super Bowl bound, but we ended 5-3. Oh, maybe we can win 8 games, maybe 9 games, But nope. Just 2021, just right in the dumper. Absolutely unbelievably pathetic season. 4-13. Last 6 games we lost? We were actually 4-7 at one point. But you got to look at it. It's like the the coaches, the assistant coaches, absolutely huge. I mean, you look at like last year, right? When we had Patrick Graham in here, good coach, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I saw a stat, it showed Wink Martindale. The Giants are giving up like 59% completion percentage. I mean, last year, you realize last year, the first like 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it was, the Giants were giving up like 75% completion percentage. I mean, we went out, we got Adoree Jackson, we had James Bradbury, and why are we giving up like 75% pass completions? What the? We had Jabrill Peppers, who's a liability in coverage. I get that. Okay. But still in the box. I mean, he was good. We had Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury, Jabrill Peppers. We had Logan Ryan. We had Xavier McKinney. We had Julian Love. Why are we giving up and I remember in the beginning, we were giving up like 70, like the first few games. I think we were giving up like 79% completion percentage. I mean, let's say against Washington. Let's check this box score out here. I mean, against a quarterback who doesn't start anymore. I mean, Taylor Heineke, 34 out of 46. What was that? I mean, the next game. I mean, against, let's see. What did the Giants give up? 27 out of 36, 75% completion percentage to Ryan. 75%. I mean, then the next game here is the one we won. Well, it was against the Saints. But I mean, we for the longest time, 19 out of 26. So that's almost 70%, close to 70%. But I mean, the first few games, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever, the Giants were giving up like 75% completion percentages. How is that happening? And then you look at us now. I mean, last week, I mean, Aaron Robinson's not there. We don't have James Bradbury anymore. Jabrill Peppers ain't here no more. We let Logan Ryan go. Adoree Jackson got hurt. I mean, and we're shutting out the Packers in the second half. Yeah, we gave up a safety, but that was from our own doing, which was a very, very smart play. But I mean, how is that happening? I mean, you got to give so much credit, right? I mean, Jerome Henderson, what he's doing, right, with the backs, but also what you got. We go here. I want to give some shout outs here too. All right, we got Jerome Henderson. Okay, John Igurugwu. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but he's the inside linebacker coach. Okay, he came from Vanderbilt. Okay, now we're doing a pretty decent job. I mean, are we, shutting teams down and this, that, and the other thing? No, but you got to also look at. I mean, what is he? We're not Blake Martinez anymore. I mean, look who he's got out there, and we're doing a pretty decent job. Okay, all in all, the defense is keeping us in every game so far. Okay, every game. The most points we gave up was at 22 points, right, to the Packers. Right, we gave up. Let's see here if I can. Right, what did we give up? Oh, I'm sorry, 23 to the Cowboys. Okay, but that's they had all those running yards, right? We didn't have Leonard Williams in there. You know what I mean? But you got to get. I mean, the inside linebacker. We're doing a pretty good job. I said he just came over this year. Okay. Then you got the outside linebacker coach, Drew Wilkins, right? We got a couple young birds in there. I mean, you got Azeez, okay, but he's been injured, problem with his calf. So now we got Kayvon in there. Okay, hopefully he can stay healthy. But I mean, I said, we got Toman Fox, Jihad Ward. I mean, look what the X-Man's doing. Now I don't know if it's also because if it's a contract year for him too. like it was with Carter last year, contract year. But I mean, look what he's doing, and he just came over too. He was the outside linebacker coach for the Baltimore Ravens for 2 years. All right, look, he's doing a pretty decent job. Okay, then we got Brian Cox, the assistant defensive line coach. Okay, he was out of football for the longest time. The last time he was coaching was 2016, but he came here, okay, with the Godfather Andre Patterson, all right, who came over from the who was the assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, defensive line coach for the Vikings. He was with the Vikings for a while. Okay, what do we got from 2014 to 2021? But I mean, he doing a phenomenal job. As I said, are we totally shutting out other teams? No, but I mean, all in all, we only gave up 23 points, our most so far in 5 football games. That's pretty good, right? And what has the defense been doing every game? Every game, what has the defense been doing? Keeping us in the game. And you got to look at also, you figure the fact, okay, that we're doing this, we got injuries. We don't even have an interception. You realize we don't have an interception yet this year? 5 games, now 1 interception. We've gotten some sacks. We've got some fumble recoveries, okay? But we don't even have an interception yet. The only team in the NFL that does not have an interception. And we're still every week keeping the Giants in the game. The defense is keeping the Giants in the game just long enough for the offense to either catch up and pull ahead or whatever. But I mean, the defense is doing a very, very decent job. And I said, we don't have all of our weapons on the field. We may not ever have all of our guys on the field at the same time, right? Meaning Azeez and Kayvon and Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence and Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson and Darnay Holmes and, we may not, right? But I mean, they're doing a very, very good job. I mean, last year, right? And so far we've given up in 4 games, the most was 23 points. Last year, that was to the Cowboys, of course. Last year, in the first 5 games, we gave up 44 points. Let me see, who was that to? Oh, that's right. It was to the Cowboys as well, too. My bad. And then the following week, we gave up 38 points to the Rams. And the second week of the season, we gave up 30 points to Taylor Heineke, a backup quarterback who's, right, he ain't starting no more, right? All he did was walk the Washington football team up and down the field all day. We couldn't even stop them. They had 407 yards against us, 320 yards passing. All he kept doing, walking up and down the field. We couldn't stop him, right? So you got to give him a huge, huge amount of credit. Absolutely. The defensive coaching staff. Then we go to the offensive coach staff, okay? And also, I mean, let's not give Wink Martindale too. Okay, he's doing a phenomenal job. With what he has, he's doing a phenomenal job. Okay, and just if we can just maybe next year add another piece or so to the puzzle. Each year, try to add another piece or two to the puzzle. I mean, the first round, maybe you draft an offensive line or somebody in the maybe a wide receiver, or maybe get a wide receiver in the second round. The first round, you draft a defensive stud. Just add another little piece to the puzzle. And in a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years, you add another 3 or 4 studs to the defense. This could be a real nice defense. So I'm saying, so you got to give, without question, you got to give, Wink Martindale his props as well too. Okay. Then you got to go, then the offensive line. Okay. Bobby Johnson and Tony Sparano Jr., what they're doing. All right. I mean, to take a couple, we don't have anybody. Right. I mean, we had Ben Bredesen, was here last year, but he hurt his hand. He was out a lot. So we have there's no continuity whatsoever. It's not like we had Evan Neal here last year, Andrew Thomas here last year, Shane Lemieux was the guard, Nick Gates was the center, and Ben Bredesen was the right guard last year. And it's the same thing. No, it's like all new guys, pretty much all new guys. Ben Bredesen said was in there last year, but he hurt his hand and he missed a bunch of time, right? So, I mean, so we got almost all new guys except for Andrew Thomas, right? And for the most part, we were a little shaky sometimes with the pass, the pass protection. Evan Neal's, is having some struggles, but he's going to get better. Andrew Thomas is the man, Okay. But, we're leading the league, and we were leading the league in rushing yards per game, right? What Saquon's doing and everything, we're helping Daniel Jones out, helping him maybe, taking a snap instead of standing in the pocket as the pocket collapses on him. Maybe, he gets the play action, right? Freezes some of the defense there a second. Whatever. Fakes the handoff to Saquon. He rolls out this way, or he just gets the ball and in a shotgun, they move the pocket or so. So he gets a little bit of extra time or whatever. But they're really helping him out, doing what he needs to do to be effective. Okay. Are we perfect? Nope. Are we a work in progress? Yep. I mean, it's tough to say because, you don't know how much longer if Feliciano is going to be here past this year. Are we going to keep Bredesen past this year? I mean, some of these guys, you don't know, right? We know we got two pieces to the puzzle. Do we have a third or a fourth? Probably not. But I mean, you got to give them huge props, huge. Bobby Johnson, Sperano Jr. Then Andy Bischoff. I mean, what he's doing. I mean, you realize, last year we had Kyle Rudolph, we had Evan Ingram. What do we got? Hold on here. Caden Smith. All right, we had Chris Myrick too. All right, let me see here. All right, let me check this out here. I gotta get this over here. Evan Ingram. All right, he had 3 touchdowns last year. And I know Rudolph had 1. Right, Rudolph had 1, and Caden Smith, he had nothing. Chris Myrick had 1. So we had what? We have 6 touchdowns. I mean, we had Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, Caden Smith, and Chris Myrick, and we had like 6 touchdowns. Right. I mean, now we have Bellinger, we got Myrick, and we got Hudson. Right. I think they have 2 touchdowns between them so far this year. So we're basically on pace, right? For what same thing as last year. Right? I mean, our draft pick is in there. So he's our star tight end, Tanner Hudson and Chris Myrick, right? And what they're doing, what Andy Bischoff is being able to do with that, I mean, he, phenomenal job. Okay. I mean, you look at the weapons we have, and he kind of scratches like, who? And they're winning football games with these guys. I mean, we realize we got like our 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th best wide receivers on the field. Wanda Robinson. I mean, you can say Darius Slayton should maybe be in the top 4, but he's not. I mean, if possible, they'd have Wanda Robinson, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, and Sterling Shepard out there, right? But I mean, we're winning games with, Richie James and Darius Slayton and David Sills and Tanner Hudson and David Bellinger and Chris Myrick. I mean, what? So, I mean, what Andy Bischoff has been doing with the tight ends, very, very impressive. Mike Rowe, really, really very special. What he's doing with the wide receiver coach, the son of Al Groh, who used to be a linebacker coach for the Giants. He coached Lawrence Taylor back in, I think, 1989 and 1990, I believe it was. What he's doing with our wide receivers. Are we setting the world on fire? Absolutely not. But for us to go in there and win a couple ball games, as I said, once again, with like our 5th, 6th, we got guys coming off the practice squad. And it's not a guy coming off the practice squad and we're putting him on the field with our 1st and 2nd best wide receivers, right? No. I mean, they're going on the field with our 5th, 6th, and 7th best wide receivers, and we're bringing guys on the practice squad, right? As I said, we're not setting the world on fire, but what he's doing with what we got and what, is pretty impressive, okay? Pretty impressive. Do we need help? Can we use it? Absolutely. We use all the firepower we can get. But, I mean, he's doing a very, very good job, okay? Then you got DeAndre Smith, the running back coach. He's certainly getting the best out of Saquon. I mean, Gary Brightwell scoring a touchdown there. Breida, right, doing a very good job. The running backs have been very, very good this year. And as I said, so far, after 5 games, Saquon, what's he doing? Leading the NFL in total yards from scrimmage, right? Hopefully, the guy can stay healthy. Shea Tierney, what's he doing, right? Quarterback coach, what's he doing with Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones has 2 interceptions so far this year, right, in 5 games. One was David Sills fell down, but of course it counts against Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had the interception against the Titans, the back shoulder fade throw to Saquon Barkley in the red zone. We should have had 3 points there at least. That was a horrible, horrible throw. But for the most part, what he's been doing with Daniel Jones, I mean, Daniel Jones was 21 out of 27. One of the screen passes he threw to Saquon Barkley was a little high, but Saquon Barkley dropped it. Daniel should have been at least 22 out of 27, which would have been like 81% completion. Would have been over 200 yards. But I mean, what he's been able to have him do, okay, hitting the wide open receivers, scrambling around, moving the pocket, getting them out, having them run when necessary, just get it far enough just to get the first down, slide down, get up, play another play, right? Get the chains moving, keep the offense on the field, keep the drive going. Very, very, very impressive job what he's been doing. But of course, he was the assistant quarterback coach with the Buffalo Bills, right? So, and then he was the offensive assistant with the Buffalo Bills. So from 2018 to 2021, he was with Buffalo. So Shane and Dable, very familiar with him, okay? But that's why they brought him over. He's doing a phenomenal job, right? See, now he's the quarterback coach. Last year, he was the assistant quarterback coach, so it's a step up for him, okay? Then you got Mike Kafka, okay? Very, very intelligent guy, okay? He can certainly say without question, the offensive plays, been sometimes a little suspect with starting games a little slow, this, that, and the other thing. But, you can definitely see that maybe we're getting a little bit better, okay? Very smart. And, so he's learning from Dable, but he came from Andy Reid, right? So a lot of knowledge up there. So what he's doing, and he's only going to get better too, right? Give him some, keep him calling those freaking plays. Let him, if Dable's got a problem with him or something, he'll bring it up, question or whatever. But keep him calling plays, and he'll do nothing but get better. And then of course you got Dable, the coach. I mean, what he's bringing to the team, the organization, and everything. I mean, just really, really doing such a good job, such a good job. So, without question, the biggest thing for the Giants, okay, is without a doubt the coaching. Without and winning, they get the attitude and everything. And then you realize, and you realize that, hey, if we're only down it's in the fourth quarter, we're only down by 7 points. This is our game. We got this, right? We just did it last week. We can do it again, right? It wasn't like that so much with Judge. It wasn't so much like that with Shermer or McAdoo, right? But you get the winning attitude, right? So, without question, 2 thumbs up. Without a doubt, to the coaching staff that they have right now. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job. Now they're going to be able to keep up this 4-1 and win again 5-1, and then you got to take on the Texans and the Seahawks and go maybe 6-2 or whatever. Somewhere along the line. They're rebuilding. But they want to be competitive while they're rebuilding. Okay, but they're 4-1. I mean, it's pretty good. So don't be surprised if they don't lose a game. Okay, here, So don't get all bummed out or whatever. Like if they wind up losing to a very good Ravens team, right? You just don't want to see them getting blown out of the building. But so far, they're doing a very, very good job. Well, guys, it's been 38 minutes. Shoot my mouth off. Anybody spent any time at all here? Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Or anybody spends any time watching the replay of this. Once again, guys, thank you so much. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there. And go Giants. Woo!